Hello there, Cancers. Thank you so much for stopping by for your monthly in-depth tarot forecast for the month of September. We are going to break September down into several different time frames. We're going to start with September 1st through the 8th, and we're just going to look at main themes for each time frame. I think that's more in depth. It gives us a better idea of how the energies are moving through the month and flowing through the month, instead of just the overarching energies. So, when the shuffle feels right, I'll start putting cards down, but meanwhile, it's not feeling right yet, which tells me that in September, you guys, or at least this time period, the 1st through the 8th, you guys are going to have a lot on your minds. But while I'm still shuffling, thank you for being here. Thank you for any thumbs ups that you put on this video, or for sharing this video with anybody you think it may help. And of course, also thank you for ordering private readings and private Reiki sessions with me. Here we go with the cards. It is because of all of you guys' wonderful support that I'm able to do what I love to do for a living, and I do find it very fulfilling. So my appreciation, even though me saying that is kind of canned, because I've said it a bunch of times, it's actually heartfelt. Let's see what else you guys got for cards here. What kind of cards do Cancers have? One of my really good friends is a Cancer. At least one of my really good friends. Some of my friends, I don't know their sign. All right. Shall we get started? Let's look at your environment first for the period of September 1st through the 8th, Cancers. We do see that there's a major transition going on with your environment. There are major changes being made. Now, this could be you actually moving, although I have to say I don't so much have the sense of movement here, but definitely changes. So maybe you're remodeling, maybe you're upgrading. You know, there's something going on where there are major changes being made in your environment. And now your environment is any place where you have energy or effort invested. So it doesn't have to be home. It could be work. It could be school. You want to kind of keep your mind open. So major changes happening. Renovations, upgrades, whatever's going on. You may be stripping things down to bare bones and then just building back up again from there. There is definitely something in your environment at the beginning of this time frame that at the end of this time frame you're no longer going to be interacting with or dealing with at all. And this, whatever these renovations, whatever these changes are, whatever is this transition that's happening in your environment, I feel like this is all based on your decision. This is not something that is coming in from outside. You are deciding to make these changes, okay? La da 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 da. All right, next thing that we're looking at, Cancers, is your subconscious leanings. So what do we have showing up here? There's something going on personally in some type of relationship. Now, it can be a romantic relationship for some of you, but I feel like for a lot of you, this has more to do with a friendship or somebody in the tribe or the family. And it looks like you're feeling really frustrated because you're having a hard time letting them know how much you actually care about them or how you actually feel about them. And I think that this difficulty in conveying this to that person is making you feel stuck and making you feel blue and depressed and like you just don't know, you're kind of out of ideas about how to convey this to this person. And I think that, you know, you're in this place of not only being stuck and sort of out of ideas, but impatient that you're not able to get this person to really understand how much you care about them. And I feel like for a good percentage of you, not for all of you, but for 25 to 30%, we're talking about this is a child that you're really wanting to understand how much you care about them. For some of you that this applies, it's going to be your child, but for others, this is more of a niece or a nephew or maybe a grandkid, but it has much more of a feel of a niece or a nephew or of a neighbor's kid or something that is I mean, we're not talking direct blood for most of you. And so your subconscious is really working on, okay, well, what can I do to let this little one know, or maybe a teenager, but how can I let this young person know that somebody cares, or that I care, or how much I care? Your subconscious is really gnawing on that whole idea because you are frustrated with how things have been going in that aspect already, or in that regard. All right. Next thing that we're looking at talks to me about learning style and also communication style. So we're going to look at learning style first. I do think there's something going on that you're taking some time to really ponder and think things over. You're not rushing into a certain situation that's going on right now. And you're really looking at not only what is a priority to you, but what is it that makes you feel happy or satisfied or fulfilled? I think you're really pondering this. You're thinking about this, and this is not a subconscious thing. But this is where you're looking inside yourself to learn some things about you more than learning details or facts from the outside world. And I think that one of the things that you're looking at is that you are kind of over feeling like you're on the outside edge of things, feeling like you don't have enough money to participate in everything that you want to participate in. And it looks to me like all of this thought is really leading you to where you're pinpointing, you know what, feeling left out, feeling like I don't have enough to do the things that I'm here to do or do the things that I want to do. That's the thing that is kind of tripping me up. That's the thing that's messing with my happiness right now. And I think that's actually what you're coming to the conclusion of as you take the time to think things over about what really makes you happy right now. La da da. Communication style. I think you're communicating in a very solid way to the people around you, a very grounded way, in a way that, you know, your story doesn't change from person to person to person. The story is basically the same. Whatever you're saying is whatever you mean, and that's not changing. There's a lot of integrity to your words in that they're not, you know, they're not flip-flopping from person to person, and they're not flip-flopping from day to day. Your story is basically the same. What you're putting out there is basically the same. What you want is the same. It's not changing. You're not double-minded right now, Cancer. And I think that the things that you are communicating with other people, I think you're communicating them with great enthusiasm and with compassion. And I think that there are even some things that are hard for you to say, and they're painful for you to admit to or own up to. And I still see you communicating even those things with enthusiasm and with compassion for the other person as you're making that communication come across. Connect the dots, connect the dots. That's a big game of connect the dots is what we're playing right now. When you look at a spread like this, how all the details fit together. I always find that interesting. So next what we're looking at is work. Those of you who have been following me a while, you know that work is two things. It is that thing that you do to create income or to feel like you're contributing to the community. And then the other way I see it is as that thing that we do to improve our own personal opinion of ourselves. Okay? So we're going to look at outside work first, and then we'll look at inner work. There's something fishy going on at work, and you're not able to really put your finger on what it is. And it has to do with the idea that there is something that you were expecting to receive by now, and it's really not coming in. But at the same time, you are collaborating with somebody. And whenever I see this card, This is a successful collaboration. This is working together with somebody on a project, and it's very successful. So you have this interesting mix of energies. You have this uncomfortable, frustrated, push, why am I not getting what I thought I would get or what I deserve? But at the same time, things are going really well with the people that you're collaborating with. Things are happening in a good way. So we've got this push-pull thing going on at work. And then behind the scenes, there's something going on. You know there's something fishy happening, but you're not able to put your fingers on, why it's happening or what's actually motivating it. It's just there are missing puzzle pieces there. All right, so let's look next at inner work. What's coming across to me, Cancers, is that you're really frustrated with the collaborations that you have going on with other people in your personal life more so than your business life. And it looks to me like there are some secrets that you're keeping because you feel like if you let these secrets out, then that's going to ruin the collaboration or spoil the interactions that you're having with other people. I think you are having interactions, but you're afraid that if you really spill the beans about what you actually think or what you actually want, that's going to bring the collaboration to a halt. And so for you, the inner work is really figuring out, basically, do I want to keep living like this? Do I want to keep living and pretending that everything's okay? I'm pretending that I'm doing what I want to do. I'm pretending that I'm happy. Or do I want to break away from this collaboration? Feel like I have to lie in to keep this collaboration going? Or, and there is a third option here, do I want to just be honest with the people that I'm collaborating with and see how they react? What if they react in a good way? What if they really like the you that is full integrity, head on, straight on you? Then things only get better. And if you bring on the straight on you and they're not so thrilled about it, then at least you guys can make some honest decisions about what direction you want to go with your collaboration. Do you want to even stay in it? And if they're not willing to stay in it, if they're not able to accept you for you, then guess what? That gives you the liberation and the freedom to go find a collaboration that you can be yourself in. Either way, it works out well if you just are yourself. Either way, it works out better for you in the long run. But the inner work is all about figuring out, can I live this way? Can I live with submerging my true self for the benefit of somebody else that I'm collaborating with and keeping those secrets indefinitely? Or do I need to come up with the truth and just see where the chips fall? All right, so that's inner work. Just sorting that out and figuring that out. I mean, we're not even talking about actually coming out with the truth at this point. We're just talking about sorting it out. Like, what am I going to do? That's your inner work for this time frame. Okay? La da da. We might see later on that you're coming out with the truth, but so far, that's not where we are. La da, la da, la da. Next thing we're looking at is, where is your personality growing or expanding the most during this time frame? What I see here is that you guys are putting a lot of energy and a lot of effort into a situation that doesn't make you feel satisfied or fulfilled. And in fact, quite the opposite. It makes you feel disappointed. And this kind of goes back. This ties in really with that inner work of, what you have to do where you're growing or expanding is you have to get to the point of saying, is this what I want to keep putting my energy and effort to? Do I want to keep putting energy and effort into something where I'm not feeling satisfied and where I end up feeling disappointed? Do I want to do that? And I think you're doing that. This is you are continuing to put that energy and effort in, at least for this time frame. It's almost like this is a lesson that you are not getting at a logical level until you've walked through this lesson a few times, and then you're actually able to take action on it and decide, yeah, what am I doing here? So this is kind of a cycle where you're growing and expanding right now. And there's no judgment on staying in that cycle. There's actually benefit to staying in the cycle, in that as you stay in the cycle, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until you finally can't help but see it, and you can't help but take action. So if you're not taking action now and this cycle continues, eventually you will. Eventually you'll change it. It's a matter of just getting your belly full. All right. Now you don't have to have your belly full to change it, and free will can change anything. So if you are hearing about this cycle and you're thinking, why would I do that? You have free will. You don't have to make these cards come true just because they're on the table right now. You can change the outcome. And that's when I would be happy if you change that outcome. All right, so next, Cancers, let's look at those things that you stand for. Wow, okay. So Cancers, there's a situation in your life that there is somebody in your life who provides a lot of support. Not only financial support, although that's a component, but also advice. There's somebody that you can talk to. There's somebody that, they understand things. They're able to help you understand things at a different level than what you normally would. And so they're there for you in very tangible, very grounded ways, but they're also there for you like mentally. They're able to help you get the big picture on things that maybe from your perspective as a water sign Cancer, you wouldn't normally have a clear perspective on. And you're walking away from this person. You're walking away from their support. You're walking away from their advice. Now, this card combination tells me that there's more here to this story than just what's obvious at the top here. When we have this particular walk away card, it talks about walking away from something that is depleting you, that's making you feel empty and not helping you to move forward, maybe even dragging you down. So this relationship with this person, whoever this is to you, whether it's a significant other, whether it's a parent figure, whether it's a neighbor, whether it's your accountant, whatever it is, this relationship is complicated. Because I'm seeing where there's two really wonderful facets to this person's personality that are supportive and helpful to you. But if you're walking away because you feel depleted, there's also something else going on behind the scenes as well. There's some things that are dragging you down as well. And so I think that this may not be the easiest decision for you, because there are pros here. There are pros here along with the cons. This isn't just a black and white, this is the best answer. And so I see you walking away from this. I see somebody saying, why did you do that? And I see you defending yourself for doing that. I don't think this was an easy decision for you to make. And I don't think you would have made it unless you felt like you absolutely had to. All right. Next, we're looking at how the other person views you. First of all, this person who is asking you, why did you walk away from this? They're saying that they view you as a good friend to themselves. They view you as a good friend. And they feel like you're going to end up walking back into this situation, or back to this person who shows up as being somebody who is solid. and strong intellectually. They see, in their mind, they feel like you're going to end up going back to this person that you've walked away from. And they feel like when you do, it's not going to be any good, because they feel like that person is not going to be in a position where they want to reciprocate after you've already walked away from them before. Okay? So that's how somebody else is viewing you. And namely, that's going to be the person that you had to defend yourself to for walking away from your solid, stable person who gives you good advice and yet was still managing to deplete you. Okay. It's interesting. They turn out as a solid, stable person who can give you good advice. We didn't see anything about emotions there. Is that a professional relationship you're walking away from? An accountant, a lawyer? Because if it's not a professional relationship that you're walking away from, I didn't see any love there. Like if that's a parent figure, or if that's a significant other or a romantic interest figure, there wasn't any love that showed up there. A lot of good stuff, but not love. Alright, just thought that was interesting to note that, because with the cards, what's just as important as what does show up is also what doesn't show up. Okay, next thing we're looking at, Cancers, is the flex period or the flex experience for this time frame. And this is where everything sort of changes direction for you. And actually, I want to clarify this, because this talks about somebody from your past coming back into your life and the two of you partnering back up again. And I want to see, is this the person that you just walked away from? Like, is your friend correct that you're going to go back to them? Or is this somebody else? I normally don't clarify on these, but I think it's important to know in this situation. Okay, so I do think this is somebody, this is the person that you just walked away from. So you've got some back and forth energy here, definitely. What's interesting, this person comes back and you guys get back into partnership, whether it's friendship, business partnership, romantic partnership, whatever. You get back into partnership and that partnership works out successfully. But remember I said what's not here is as important as what is here, and before I noticed there was no love that showed up in that last set of cards we looked at. There's a card here that basically says that even though you guys are back in partnership and that partnership is successful, you don't love them. Not only do you not love them, you don't like them very much. You don't like them very much. But they seem to be doing well. And because they seem to be doing well, you take them back. Wholeheartedly take them back. Cancers, what are you doing? What are you doing to yourself? Didn't we see you going through flip-flop in August? Is this still going on? Okay, so at the same time that that is happening, that you guys are renewing that partnership and doing it well, there is somebody in your experience, and I'm going to tell you, I think it's this person that you walked away from and now you're walking back to. This person shows up as being sort of a trickster. They're not being straight up with you. They're not being honest with you. They're saying to you, You're my ideal. You're exactly what I want. Whether it's exactly what I want as a business partner, friend, whatever, romantic interest, whatever, they're telling you you are the apple of their eye. In reality, they're still thinking about other people too for that position that you've accepted again. They haven't quit looking at other people to fill that position. So apparently neither one of you have a lot of love going on here. This is just looks to me like y'all have gotten back together because it's convenient and it works financially. What else is going on at the same time? You guys definitely have a lot of communication going on. And there's a lot intellectual going on. But what I don't see is a lot of action happening here. I see a lot of talk, but I don't see a lot of taking action. So if this is a business partnership, I don't see you guys moving forward with any business ventures or business ideas. I just see you talking. If this is a romantic partnership, I see that there's a lot of talk here, but I don't see that there's a lot of chemistry in the bedroom. Everything is just talk. And it kind of makes sense. I mean, we've got no love showing up from your side or from the other person's side. The chemistry is not there either. It's like a relationship that has been damaged to the point that you guys can be together out of convenience, but that's kind of it. You know, and if that's what floats your boat, well, cool. But I think it's important to be really clear about what I'm seeing here. Now, where do we see you guys at the end of this time frame, Cancers? Cancers, by the time we get to the end of this time frame, I already see you separated again from this person. It looks like whatever start that you had that started off so successfully, or restart, I guess I should say, is already done and over and thrown in the trash. And this person is out with the competition, hanging out with the competition. Now, what's interesting, though, is that this separation that I'm seeing here is a temporary separation, which tells me you guys are not done cycling. They'll be back. They'll be back. And the fact that this is a temporary separation, not only are they coming back, at least the way the energy sits now, unless you do something to change this with free will, not only are they coming back, you will take them back happily, even though they've been out mucking around with the competition. Even though you've already taken them back and it seemed successful, it seemed like it was going to work out, it was going to be a good convenience, and then it's already done, and they've already gone. We see you still taking them back. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that to yourself, Cancers? Don't you think you deserve better treatment than that? Just think about it. All right, so that's the end of that time frame. Let me go ahead and wrap it up, take a break. I'll come back and we'll look at the next one. We'll see if things start to sort themselves out a little bit better next time around. Thanks for being here. Hello again, Cancer. We are back to see what's going to be going on in your world for the time frame from September 9th through the 16th this time. Shall we see what is happening now? All right. All right. Let's see what we have. We're going to start with the environment. And environment, like I said before, is any place where you have energy or effort invested. Okay, so let's just jump right in here. You guys know that I don't do candy coating because I think if I candy coat things, then I'm not giving you helpful and useful information. So your seatbelts and your hard hats. I saw a few cards pop during this that I'm not too thrilled to have to talk to you about. So here we go. Environment. What we have coming up here is heartache or heartbreak. This looks like the end of a long-term contract or commitment, or what was intended to be a long-term contract or commitment is happening. And it looks like there's a lot of juggling of things going on with the environment as you're dealing with this heartache or heartbreak, and as this contract or commitment is coming to an end. This looks pretty rough to me, guys. I'm just not gonna lie. This looks pretty rough to me. I am so sorry. Let's look at your subconscious leanings during this time frame. Looks to me like you're having a hard time making a decision about what way is best to go from here. And I think that whatever it is that the things that you're considering, I don't think that you're sharing them with everybody. It feels to me like you're thinking that, there are some things that I have to keep on the down low, otherwise there's going to be a lot of friction and a lot of chaos if I'm right up front with them. And I do think you're putting a lot of energy and a lot of effort into keeping these things a secret and trying to figure out which way to go next. I think some of your options about where you want to go from here are what you're keeping a secret. I don't think you have worked out exactly what you want to do, where you want to go from here in this situation. And so it just is not smart to, it's just not smart to share what you're thinking with somebody else right now. But I feel like there's a lot of energy and effort going into those subconscious leanings and working on, okay, what's next? Where do I go from here? How do I handle this situation moving forward? All right, Cancers. Next thing that we're looking at talks to me about learning style and communication style. I do see you doing some kind of research and trying to figure out definitely about some very specific things. And I think this has to do with options for you. This is a very emotional time whenever you're learning things, and I think emotions are guiding what you're learning. So looking to move away from something that's making you feel bad or move towards something that's making you feel good, one of those two, those emotions are what's guiding what it is that you're studying or focusing on so that you can get more information. I think you do have a lot of clarity coming in when you're looking at this stuff too. I don't think there's a lot of haziness around whatever it is that you're finding out about. Now, as far as communication style, there is some person or people in your life that you're just being really quiet. You're not sharing much with them right now. I think it feels to me like it's better to keep everything neutral. You don't want them getting involved or having feelings about whatever it is that you're dealing with or going through here. It's just better to keep them neutral. It's better to be quiet. I see that happening here. I do feel like there is somebody who you're talking to that you are definitely being very direct, to the point. You're coming at them with the truth, and you're demanding the truth from them too. Whether they're giving you that or not, I'm not exactly sure right here, but I know that you're being straight up front here, and you're sharing with them some of this information that you've found out. So whatever it is that whatever information you've been looking for, you're telling them about it. And I think that the information that you've been looking for, I don't think they're too happy to hear about it. I think this information is about some of the options that you have right now. They're not happy to hear that you have options, honestly. They would rather be in control. And then you also have people in your life who are closer, they're friends. And I think that these people you're really talking to and you're sharing some things with, and maybe even sharing your plans with them. And really, these are the people that are keeping you in a good headspace, you know, keeping you to where you can laugh about things and to where you're not taking things too seriously and getting too down about everything that's going on right now. Right now being September 9th through the 16th. All right, looking next at work. So I do work two ways. For those of you who don't remember, you can go back to the first time frame and you can hear about that, but work for me comes up two different ways. We're going to look at outer work first. And I do see that outer work, things are very slow there still, but it's satisfying. What you're doing is very satisfying. And even though things are slow, it looks like you're able to manifest what you need there as far as pay and benefits and that type of stuff. Now, as far as inner work, you really are working on manifesting things that make you feel happy and satisfied in your own personal life. And that is going slow. I think you're having some time to really think about what it is that you actually want, what it is that would actually make you happy in your personal life as you begin to manifest that. And even though it's going slow, I won't say it's not happening. I do think you're starting to see some manifestations. It's just not happening as quickly as you want it to. Next thing we're looking at, Cancers. Talks to me about that part of your personality that's being grown or expanded right now. So we have something going on here where there is a situation that you know is not your ideal situation. Maybe at one point you thought it was ideal, but now you're realizing definitely that it is not, and that you really, I don't think you necessarily want to move forward with this. I think it makes you feel a little bit lonely, a little bit tired. I also feel like there's not, you're not seeing another situation like it that might be better, that you would want to slide from this situation into the next one. You're just, I think that you're still in the situation, even though it doesn't make you feel like you're actually, it makes you feel like you're settling for something just because you don't have anything better on the horizon right now. And where you're growing and expanding is in that act of integrity of, you know, am I really going to take this just because it's the only thing I can see at the moment? Or am I going to have that faith? Am I going to have the belief that I am worth more and I deserve better, and cut yourself out of this situation so that you can make room for a better situation to come in? And I think that's really the grand debate here for you during this time frame. What are you standing up for? You're definitely under a lot of stress, and we see once again this whole confusion about where do you want to go from here. You're just not happy, you know, very plainly you're not happy. You're probably not even sleeping at night. And it looks to me like you're just feeling really overwhelmed about, what do I do next? How do I handle this situation? How do I get to where I can do something next? And I think, you know, a friend has probably said to you, why aren't you taking some kind of action on this? You can't live under this kind of stress. And I think you've been the one that's told them, yeah, I'm not happy. Yeah, I'm stressing out. I don't know what to do. You can't take action when you don't know what to do yet. How is this other person seeing you right now? They're feeling like because I feel like this whole thing has to do with another person. Starting from your environment all the way up to here. It looks to me like they're feeling like if this person would say, you know what, I'm not putting anything else into this situation, I'm getting out of this situation, that would be a gift. That would be a gift to you. That would be a really positive thing, because you don't seem, they don't feel like you seem to know how to get out of this situation, even though it's obviously stressing you out. And so they feel like if this other person would say, you know what, I'm done, I'm out, They feel like that would be a gift to you, but they don't see that happening. What they see is they see the two of you stuck in this cycle that needs to end, but neither one of you having the gumption to end it and just be done with it. There's some concern there because that's not, they can see that what you guys are going through is not healthy. Definitely not healthy for you, probably also not healthy for the other person. And I think they're worried about you continuing on with this. They're worried about how long can you operate under that much stress and still be okay, like physically, mentally, emotionally. They're concerned. All right. Next, we're going to look at the flex point. I think you do decide that this is a toxic situation. Even though the situation was bringing you security before, it's gotten to be so toxic that even it's just not even feeling secure anymore. And I think you're deciding that, okay, I just can't do this anymore. Maybe you're deciding that because of your friend's support. Maybe, I mean, to me, this really looks like you just got into a situation so deep that you're just desperate. So desperate to be out of it that you have to take the bull by the horns. You have to make that decision and you have to live. You have to live with it. You have to enforce it. That, okay, I need out of this. Excuse me, I thought it was bringing me stability. It's just toxic. It's only hurting me. I have to go. And that's what I see. I see you definitely ending that decision or ending that situation. All right. At the same time that that's going on, you've got some good things going on for yourself financially. I think that you are coming out of your shell. You're doing something that's very logical and that makes a lot of sense to help you increase your paydays or increase your cash inflow. So you are, this could be that you're working some kind of position that's around a whole lot of people. That just makes a lot of sense for you financially. I see that going on at the same time that you're ending this thing that you thought was going to bring you security that has just turned out to be toxic. I see you, taking care of business financially, making sure that you can stand on your own 2 feet financially, even with this other thing being ended. Now, what else is going on? I think you feel like you just don't have a choice here as far as getting away from this situation. You're in a position now where you just don't feel like you have a choice. You have to get away from this situation. And I think you feel that way because I think you feel like the other person has betrayed your trust. And because this other person has betrayed your trust in a big enough way, you just feel like that person leaves you with no choice. You just have to move forward. You have to look for a more positive situation to be a part of because this is not working on any level. So where do we see you at the end of this time frame? We see you really stepping up to the plate and taking authority over your own life and over your own situation. It looks to me like you're taking control. It looks to me like this other person is draining you financially, probably also draining you energy-wise. This person has become kind of unbearable to live with as far as their moods or to interact with if you're not actually living with them, as far as their moods. And you have just gotten to the point where now you're just putting your stake in the ground and you're just not moving forward, not with them. You are looking at, okay, what else can I do? I am doing other things. And I think you've got some ideas about other things. And this could very much be what you're doing with that, with bringing in cash flow so that you can stabilize yourself even with or without that other person. But I really feel like whoever this is that you decided, I have to call this done. It's too toxic. I think that this person is, you know, they're not just disappearing just because you're calling this done. I think that they're, first of all, they're angry at you. They're letting you know that they're not very happy with you about this. Yeah, and they may even, like where they may have been financially supporting you before, that financial support, they're pulling back on that. Thinking that, I really get the impression that they feel like if they pull back on their financial support towards you, then that is going to change your mind and make you want them back so that you can have that financial support. It's almost like they're trying to buy your partnership in that way. I don't see you having it. You've got your backup plan. You've got your other cash coming in. I don't see you worried about their financial support. I think that the situation has gotten so desperate that that just is irrelevant at this point for you. Okay? So that's where we see you at the end of the time frame, Cancers. It looks like things are coming to a head, and maybe we're coming to a final ending here. And I guess we'll find out the next time around. So let me take a break, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Peace out. Hello there, Cancer. We are back again. Your first card just flew right out of the deck. We're going to take that. And so we are going to be looking this time at September the 17th through the 23rd. I'm beginning to have hope that you guys have broken through the end of a cycle, and maybe this is going to be a really good free time frame for you guys. I'm hoping so. Hoping so. I've been in a couple of those cycles myself. They're never very fun. It's always better when you can break away from them. So let's see what happens. All right. All right. What do we have for Cancers? Cancers, we're starting off with your environment. Oh, wow. Okay, well, we've definitely got some different stuff happening here. So, Cancer, it looks like you're in, in your environment. There's something going on where you're able to save or to stash back something in your environment. At the same time that this is happening, though, I think we've got you in a little bit of pity party mode. Like there's something going on about your environment that has you feeling sorry for yourself, that that's your situation. And I think that what it is that is going on is you're dealing with somebody who has strong narcissistic tendencies that's in your environment. And so you're having to interact with them. I think you're holding back from them. You may be stashing away money, but definitely you're holding back your emotions from them. You're not sharing with them like maybe you used to or like they want you to for sure. For those of you who don't know what somebody with strong narcissistic tendencies has, I would highly recommend that you Google that. There's lots of great information on the internet, and I don't have time to tell you everything about that. But I will tell you in a nutshell, it's bad news. Okay? And it can be very emotionally damaging. So you're interacting with somebody who is coming across with strong narcissistic tendencies. I think you're feeling sorry for yourself that you're having to interact with this person, and I feel like you're holding back from that person any kind of energies or emotions. You may be even stashing away money because you may be looking at how do I get an escape route out of this situation. All right, looking next at your subconscious leanings. You're really wanting things to go smooth. You're wanting things to work out. You're wanting to feel happy and secure in your family, in your home life, and it's just not happening. And I think you're asking yourself, you know, why is it that this is not happening? That's what's going on with your subconscious. You know what you want. You know what your target is, but you're having a really hard time making that happen. And so your subconscious is working on that. Like, okay, we got to figure it out. We got to do something. Next thing we're looking at is learning styles and also communication styles during this time frame. As far as learning styles, I feel like whatever you're learning during this time frame, you're learning through experience. This is school of hard knocks, baby. This is what you're going through right now. School of hard knocks. And the other thing that you're learning is through reflection. You're going through things and then you're reflecting on them afterwards to pull those lessons out of them. And I think you definitely are pulling lessons out of the experiences that you're having. As far as communication during this time frame, I think your communication is very clear. I don't think that anybody can misunderstand anything you're saying at this particular time. I do think that, to me, it feels like there's this total flip-flop of how your emotions are showing up in your communication. For some of you, you have lots of emotions showing up in, well, for all of you, I think you've got a lot of emotions showing up in some of your communications. But in other of your communications, it's almost like you're numb, like you've just been through so much that you're just numb. There's no way that you can even put emotions in that because you're just not feeling it. You've been through so much. It's almost like you've sort of shut your emotions down at this point for some of your communications that you're doing. And then once again, we do see this whole situation with that there are friends, there are people that you can count on in your support system, in your support network that you can talk to and laugh and joke and distract yourself from anything else that's going on that's not so happiness making. All right. Let's look next at work. What is going on here? I think that you are actually working. You're getting a lot accomplished, actually. But there is some kind of problem with the pay. Whatever pay you were expecting is not coming in, at least not the way you expected it to come in. But I feel like you're happy at work. I feel like it's a satisfying thing to be at work. I think you're enjoying it and you're being responsible about it. It's not that you're not showing up. It's not that you're not doing, it's not that you're not putting in the time at work, but the pay is not, there's some kind of problem with the pay. I don't know if there's a technological problem and the pay just isn't deposited in your account, or if the pay is just much, much less than what you were expecting it to be, but there's definitely a problem here with pay. Or maybe it's just delayed. Could be that it's delayed. Let's look at inner work. Inner work, what I see is that you are doing what it takes to take care of yourself. You're doing some self-care and you are finding some happiness. I get the sense that you are spending some time with friends. Remember those friends I was telling you could talk to and you can laugh and joke around with them? I see them coming up here as part of your inner work is actually just being around them. And I think that they make you feel pretty good. I think that the problem is that when you're not around your support network and when you're not being built up, you start to think about what's going on. Like, I thought you were ending this cycle. I don't think this cycle is ended yet. At least it hasn't completely. The volume may be turned way down, but I don't think it's ended completely. And I think that when you're not around your support network, it's really easy for you to feel depressed. And so I think that that's part of your inner work, is to get away from that feeling, to start to find ways to feel more positive. And I think that's where your friends are coming into play there. They're really helping give you a jump start on that during this time frame. Okay, next thing that we're looking at, Cancers, talks to me about that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded right now. First of all, okay, so there's good news and there's bad news. Let's get the bad news out of the way first, and then let's talk about the good news, because you've got some really good stuff showing up here. First of all, I do think you're confused about something. All right, I think you're confused about still what you want to do moving forward. However, at the same time that you're still dealing with that confusion, because, you know, we had a lot of that from the last time frame. So that's still kind of, there's a little bit of it showing up here. But at the same time, you've quit walking on eggshells. You're starting to tell your truest truth, and you're not trying to keep secrets. You're not trying to hide anything from anybody now. You're not walking on eggshells to keep the peace. And your self-confidence and your self-esteem is growing. I'm really happy to see that. Going through all this chaos, it's really good to see your self-confidence, self-esteem growing. It's good to see that you're able to just say what you need to say and not worry about it. I'm liking that. This idea that you're not sure where you're going to go yet, that's okay. That's okay. The more your self-esteem grows, the more you'll be able to figure out what you want to do next or where you want to go next, however you want to word that. Next. Let's look next at things that you stand for. So you did have somebody who, and I think we're seeing the same relationship again, you did have somebody who made you feel left out. You know, they just really didn't treat you in a good way, and you're healing up from that. And I think that that person is not really happy that you're healing up from that. It looks to me like with you going out with your friends and, you know, just being social, being around other people is really helping you get past that whole idea of being left out in the cold. You know, there are people who appreciate you. There are people that you can hang out with that actually are happy to see you. You know, I think that is really helping you to heal your heart chakra a lot from the way you were treated by this other person and how you were left out in the cold with them before. And I think you had to stand up for the idea that, you know what, I'm getting over this. I am getting over this. So, how this other person perceives you, the one that you had to stand up for the idea that you're getting over a heartache or a heartbreak, they see you as somebody who is kind of cold and unfeeling. They also see you as somebody who's really confused right now. And they still see you as somebody who's a good team player, who works together well with other people and has good collaborations going. Yeah. This person may even be the person that you're getting over. For them to look at you as feeling cold, I don't think they're recognizing the feelings that you actually did have. And I think they're seeing you as confused because I think they're feeling like, you know, it's just a matter of time and Mr. and Ms. Cancer will be back around again and we'll be collaborating again and everything will be fine. But they're cold. That's kind of how they're looking at it. Like your emotions are cold. Well, remember, like last time frame, I saw that there was no feeling between the two of you guys anymore anyway. I think there's still hurt feelings. I think there's still hurt egos going on whenever you guys are going back and forth, but I don't see any love that shows up from this other person to you or from you to this other person either way anymore. Now we're just dealing with ego issues of who's leaving who and why and all of that. That's what we're down to now with this relationship. Now being September 17th through the 23rd. All right. What do we have here? Okay, Cancers. Pivotal time frame, flex point during this time frame. Now the other person is breaking up with you. You let them back in again. Now they're breaking up with you. And I think that actually this is kind of a relief for you. You're actually hopeful that like this will stick. Like this time you guys will stay apart. But there is a lot of confusion here whenever this person does break up with you. I think that this person is really, I think that the breakup is kind of an indecisive breakup. It's one of those that even though it's a breakup, there's not a lot of closure. This is like saying, I'm breaking up with you, but I'll always love you, or I'll always be there for you, or, you know, maybe we'll get back together in a month and a half, or something like that. But I think that you're hoping that this just sticks. I think you're tired of this cycle too, and I think you're just hoping that this breakup sticks. Even though the other person is broken up with you, you're just like, you know what? Maybe that's what it takes. Maybe it takes them breaking up with me for this to stick and for them not to come back. All right. What else is going on at the same time? You have already spent some time alone really thinking things over and trying to figure out what it is exactly that you want. And you're You're out talking to people. I think when this person breaks up with you, you're missing them. Remember in the first time frame, it showed that they didn't bring all bad to the situation, but then later on it showed up as being really toxic too. So I think you're missing the good parts of that situation. And it looks to me like you're doing some serious heavy-duty cyber stalking. Like you're definitely stalking them on Facebook or Twitter or whatever their little social media outlet is of choice. And you may even be talking to mutual friends trying to find out about them. So yeah, they broke up with you now you're stalking them, now you miss them. You did spend some time alone before they broke up with you. You were really trying to consider and think about things. It's almost like the two of you just want whatever you can't have, and as soon as the other one says bye, then you guys are right there, wanting to be back together again. Where before the person said goodbye, you were probably thinking about saying goodbye yourself. Like I said, I think this is all ego now. This is all wars of the ego. There's no feelings involved here anymore. Those have been left behind miles ago. Okay, Cancers. I mean, you really got to evaluate. Is this really what you want to spend your energy on? Okay, what else is going on while we've got this breakup happening and now you're missing them? The separation is temporary again, guys. This separation is temporary again. And this is a rash move. You guys separate. This is a rash move because you guys are letting your emotions or your insecurities get the best of you. And so this separation is a rash move that this person is making, and I think that they're going to be coming back. Going to be coming back. And you're going to let them. Once again, you're going to let them. Where do we see you at the end of this time period? So at the end of this time period, what we have is this person really is showing you their true colors, and you're not impressed. Okay? You're not feeling happy with them. You're not feeling satisfied with them. I don't think you guys are at relationship right now. I think this guy or this girl is being a trickster. They're trying to manipulate things. They're trying to lie about things. And I think that you're catching them in some of that. And it's not making you feel very satisfied at all. Not very happy with the situation. This is like the opposite of what you want to be involved with. And yet somehow you guys seem to be drawn to keep coming back and forth to each other. It's almost like you're drawn to finish this until somebody is just so dead inside that they just can't get up and fight anymore. That's what this looks like to me. This is not the type of relationship that you want to keep getting sucked back and forth into. This is one of those cycles that is only detrimental, not only to yourself, but also to the other person as well. So I would really ask you to consider what you're doing. Consider if this is really where you want to spend your energy, or if you maybe have better ways to spend your energy right now. I would hope you've got something better to spend your energy on. And I'm wishing you all the best in changing your free will and coming out of this web, this toxic cycle and toxic web. Let the ego go. It doesn't matter who broke up with who last, really. What matters is that you create for yourself a happy life. All right, so let me wrap this up, take a break, come back, and we'll look at the last part of September. All right, Cancers, here we go. Last time around for the month of September. We're looking at September 24th through the 30th this time. See what comes up this time around. So far, I'm kind of feeling like I could have done one spread for the whole month, would have been your energies. And it would have been just fine, but we'll see. Maybe there's something new coming up this time. We'd like to see something new happening. Okay, let's take a peek. Let's take a peek at your environment, any place where you have energy or effort invested. There is something really happiness making going on in your environment, and whatever is happening in your environment, it is becoming a better place for you to be, more healthy, a place that adds to your strength. I think that you have some choices to make about your environment and you're not sure which is the best way to go. Whatever choice you make, either choice is going to be good though. So I think you're a little confused about which one you want, because if you choose one, then that means that you can't do the other. And since they're all good choices, it's hard to narrow that down. Okay, that's a nice start. I like that start. Let's look at subconscious leanings. Oh, yeah. Okay. So you're thinking about a goal or a target, something that is your ideal, and you're thinking about that you really would like to reach that. You would like to have that in your pocket and be done with it. And you're thinking about, how can I get into a collaboration that's going to allow me to reach that goal or that deal? So that's awesome. That's awesome. That's subconscious leanings. It looks like subconsciously you're looking at, how can I move forward with something in a positive way? I'm happy to see that. And then as far as learning style and also communication style, what do we have happening? You are getting some new information, but I think it's just a little bit here, a little bit there. I don't see you doing a lot of really great research about this. It looks to me like you have the opportunity to find more information, but you're sort of turning away from that opportunity. So if this is, remember how we saw that maybe you were stalking somebody before? You may be realizing, I could find out about this person if I would stalk them on Facebook or whatever social media outlet. But you're not. You're just not. You don't need to. You don't want to. You're just not. And it looks like a lot of the information that you're getting and that you're sharing right now, a lot of the new things that you're learning has to do with learning things from friends. You're learning about their lives and how they're doing things and getting ideas from that. Now, as far as communication style, you do have an abundance of communication going on with friends right now. I don't see anything that looks restricted at all. You may even be traveling to spend some time with some friends. So this is really nice and just wide open, and it feels like a breath of fresh air to me. I'm really liking everything that I'm seeing so far for this time frame. I'm dreading though, because we had that one card that said that you guys are only separated temporarily. I'm dreading. Maybe you guys won't get back together on this one. Maybe you can have one that's really good and productive and helps you move forward before that happens. Let's look at work though. Okay, so work. It's interesting what we have here about work. It looks like when it comes to work, you're giving somebody a second chance. So maybe you were working for a company and you realize, this is not working for me. I have to walk out of this situation. Maybe they're calling you up and saying, you know what, we really like you over here. We like the work you do. We like how you do it. Please come back. You're giving them a second chance. And things are moving smoothly too as you do that. So it could be, it could be that they're paying you more, or it could be just that they're working with you on hours. There's more appreciation that's coming through there. It looks to me like whenever you walked away, they said, well, wait, and they quit taking you completely for granted like they were before. Okay, so now let's look at inner work. Your inner work is really seeing how things are falling into place for you right now. And I think you're really enjoying the idea that things are falling into place for you right now. You're finding some appreciation for yourself here too. Yep. And I just feel like, it just feels to me like you can breathe. It feels to me like you've been walking on eggshells, keeping secrets, for so long during most of this month, that this just now feels like you can really breathe. I'm just so happy to see that. There's liberation showing up here for you, Cancers. Okay, so next thing that we're looking at talks to me about that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded right now. It looks to me like you are finding yourself to be very happy and very secure in your home life and your family life right now. You're really enjoying what you've got going on there. And at the same time, it does look like there's something that you want to go back to, something from the past that you would like to go back to, some person that you would like to be talking to again. And I think you're feeling like there's not any way for you to make that happen. And so you're just making the best of your family life and your home life as it is. That's where you're growing or expanding. Next, we're looking at things you stand for. We're definitely seeing you still being straight up front with the truth. You're not walking on eggshells anymore. This is the second time frame we've seen that, so that's really nice. So for the last half of the month, you're not walking on eggshells. You're telling things the way it is. You're telling things straight up. I also see that you are feeling better. Once again, I think we had something very similar show up last time that you were standing up for. You're feeling better. You're getting over that feeling of being left out in the cold. And I do feel like you're still really confused about some things. You're really confused about why things happened the way that they happened, but that's not keeping you from telling your truth, and that's not keeping you from finding healing from the situation. Now, how does the other person perceive you? They do see that you're healing from a heartache, definitely, and they're feeling like you're moving forward actually really quickly is how they're seeing it. And I think that this person may, I don't know if they know the other person that you're getting over or if they've just heard about them from you, but I think that you're the person that, asked you about this. I think they're chuckling a little bit because I think that they feel that the other person is not so happy that you're getting over them. That's making them feel a little bit depressed or blue because they like holding the puppet strings, and if you're getting over them, then they don't have the puppet strings in their hand anymore for you. All right. Next thing that we're looking at is our pivot point or our flex point where things start to change during this time frame. No, 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 no. Do I have to tell you what this says? Do I have to? So your person comes back that you left because they were really toxic and they're still really toxic. And they come back. And whenever they come back, this is not something that you're really enjoying at all. In fact, it's immediately putting a drag on you. Remember, we saw you guys getting back together earlier in the month and everything was good at first. This person is back and things suck from the get-go, okay? That's the only way that I can say it. The only way that I can say it with these cards. What else is going on here? What else is going on here, Cancers? As fast as this person shows up, they're gone again. As fast as this person shows up, they're gone again. And I think you're being encouraging. You're being uplifting to them. I think you're trying to actually make this work, even though it is toxic. And this person has a lot of anger issues and has a lot of bitterness, and they are not committing to anything with you, even though they're back. And you're trying to make it work. They're not committing to anything. They're disappearing as fast as they show up. Ugh. This has got to be spinning your head, Cancer. This has got to be spinning your head. What else is going on here? Work is good. On the upside, work is good. You're happy. You're actually enjoying your work. You're liking it. I mean, work is coming up in this position as at the same time that all this drama is going on with this person coming back and then not wanting to commit, but still enjoying the fact that you're doing everything you can to make it work. You know, work is kind of the escape for you. Work is good. And there's somebody at work that you can talk to and you can get advice about things going on in your life and guidance. I feel like this is not necessarily guidance about your personal life, or if it is guidance about your personal life, it's really completely inappropriate. But I think that this is more guidance about stability and setting things up to help you move forward in a positive direction in more of a financial way. Maybe even having to do with if you're trying to set up a future for the kids, that might be something that's coming up here as this person is giving you advice on that. So work is going good. Personal life is kind of a train wreck here, but work is going good. Ba-bum. And Cancers, don't be mad at me. I'm not judging you. My personal life has been a train wreck before too, so I get it. I just really wish you guys would step away from the sandbox here and get out of that cycle. All right, let's look at where we are, where we see you at the end of this time frame, the end of the month, basically. No, we see you putting energy and effort. You're going back to this toxic thing. So even though this person showed up, acted like a big butt, and then left, even while you were trying to make things work out, now, just a little bit later, you're still going back to this situation. You're still putting energy and effort into this situation. And so it's not over yet. It's not over yet. Wow, you guys, I think we started all this games, all this fun and games, what, August? Maybe July? When do you get tired of this game? When do you let it go? Why are you still holding on? There are some questions to ask yourself here. And also, honestly, Cancer, there's some spiritual healing that needs to happen. When we find ourselves stuck in a cycle like this, where we're doing something that we know it's toxic and yet we keep getting drawn back in, drawn back in, drawn back in, that's because there's some kind of spiritual blockage or spiritual healing that we need to have so that we can let go of that and move forward into something more productive. And I've got to say, if you were my client and we were on the phone and this is what I was seeing for you, I would highly recommend getting some Reiki sessions. And I'm going to tell you guys, if you're resonating with this stuff, you really want to look into some type of spiritual healing, whether it's shamanistic, whether it's Reiki, whatever. Look into that. I'm a big believer in Reiki. I've seen it work. I've used it for me. I know it works. I've used it for lots of clients and had good results. I would say look for Reiki. I'm not even saying that you have to get Reiki with me, although I would love to be your Reiki person. But try getting some Reiki to help you to have more stable, better, more healthy relationships, you know. And I would be honored if you chose me to talk to about what Reiki can do for you and to see if I'm the right practitioner or the right, actually, Reiki master for you. I would be thrilled about that. But whether it's me or whether it's somebody else, I just highly encourage you to do some spiritual healing so that you don't continue on this. I don't want to do an October reading that's the same as this, that's similar to August. I would love to do an October reading for you guys where things are really looking good and relationships are getting healthy and work is healthy and everything is going in a good direction. That's what I would love to do. Those are the readings I like to do. So seriously, look into some kind of spiritual healing, whether you use me for that or whether you do something else. But try to find some spiritual healing so you can get out of this pattern, because it's a toxic pattern and it's not helping you make any kind of progress in your life path or anything else. Okay? Anyway, let me wrap this up, Cancers. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing, for liking, for commenting, and thank you also for those of you who are booking private sessions with me, either for the Reiki or for the readings. I do really enjoy getting to know each and every one of you and getting to catch up with each and every one of you every chance we get to do that. And I just appreciate all your support at every level, guys. It's because of you guys watching this, because of all the other support that you give me, that I'm able to do what I love to do for my living. So seriously, thank you very much. Everybody, if I don't see you here for a private session, then I'll see you back on the next video. Peace out.